Sweet. Alright, I'm already recording. This is about as official as it gets. Welcome to the Clash of the Titans 2024 The Armies Outlook. We all have Emily to thank for, by the way, for the pretty background and the font and the glow around the text and stuff. So if you are reading your own upload, which will be up, I imagine, sometime later tonight, and it doesn't have the font, it's because you're a loser, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. Or you're Liam, and you were told to download the fonts. And you didn't. And you're like, wow, this is so pretty.
Yeah, why look at my own crappy version when I can look at your pretty version with no work on my part?
Yeah, it's fair. That actually sounds like a pretty good deal. Alright, let's kick into it.
Not doing work is ideal, to be honest.
Yeah, something about work and Jack and I don't know. We'll get there. We'll jump into the first one. This is already taking too long. We're already on the title page longer than necessary. Alright, first list. Mr. Luke Marziano. He is running the Kingdom of Moria. Some highlights being he's taking Balin, Floy, the King's Champion with Heralds, and the Dwarf Ballista. My thoughts are it's amazing because he's using my models. That's it.
I thought the list looked very familiar. You know, a slightly modified version of the 650 that was successful at Masters the other year.
Was it? Oh yeah, it was a little bit. By accident, mainly. Alright, we're good. Kick it on.
Raw skill.
Jack's like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Sweet, number 2.
Yeah, so this is Sammy Briggs running the Blackgate Opens. We're seeing the buffed up Troll, which gets a beautiful name later on. The Mouth of Sauron, 2 Orc Captains with Warg and Shield, and a bunch of Orc Warriors with a smattering of different war gear. It's nice. I don't think I've seen enough of the Blackgate Opens. I think I might change my mind after looking at all these lists, but it's a nice build from Sam here, just a massive troops.
I think as well, in the interest of, obviously there's like 5 or 6 of these. Do we want to talk a little bit about it now, and then we can just kind of shift through
get it out now.
The other
get
ones.
It out of your system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then when we hit the next ones, you guys, you've already listened to us talk about it, and we know what our thoughts are, and we'll stop for the funny name. So, yeah. So I mean, yeah. Let's start with Lane. What are your thoughts on this list?
Look, the beefy chieftains are always fun to see. The Mouth of Sauron hasn't seen enough play outside of this, so hopefully this picks up the use of the Mouth of Sauron. But there's obviously a lot of different ways that you can play this, whether you're taking the Horde Trolls that I know Jade likes to take, or whether in this case you've gone with a basically maximum warriors for your bang for buck. I haven't played the Legion enough to know which of those is going to look better.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously one of the major special rules is the Hordes of Mordor, which is a +1 to wound in a duel, which they outnumber their opponents. So definitely having a lot of orcs there is really key. It is interesting to decide whether you want Orc Warriors or Morannons. From what I've seen, a lot of people prefer the Orc Warriors. Dropping the strength bonus there for more models. They're 5 points to Warriors versus 7 to Morannons. So.
The other thing is, yeah, as you said, if they're getting that +1 to wound, you might be better off having those larger numbers to get more +1s than worrying about your strength 4.
Exactly,
I do like 2 banners. 2 banners is always very nice.
Yeah, anyway, but yeah, so it's cool to see lots of warriors there, which is interesting one to take it. If we see any alterations to the later ones, we'll talk about it, but yeah, we can move on now.
Sweet.
Fantastic, and we'll move on to Breaking of the Fellowship, which of course, we were talking about this just beforehand, is exactly 600 points.
Let me just fix this one real quick. There it is.
Yeah,
Done.
no worries. Perfect. Lovely, a bit of visual aid for the viewer there. So yeah, pretty stock standard stuff. You know, we all know heroes. Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, Boromir, Frodo, Samwise, Merry Pippin. No Boromir, he is in fact shot to death. These are all very good heroes in their own rights, except maybe the hobbits.
What do you mean there's no Boromir?
He's thinking about Gandalf, who's already...
Ah.
Have you even seen Lord of the Rings?
Have you even seen Lord of the Rings? This is the moment where Viggo kicks the helmet. Yeah, sorry, I think of the other one. But yes, either way. Very strong list, lots and lots of might. Pretty scary. I don't know how you feel about its ability to combat other armies with 600 points worth of strength, but I guess we'll see.
I think we've seen some people run the Fellowship successfully. The thing for me is keeping track of all those little bonuses that you've just picked up from Lothlorien in terms of like the rerolls to wound for Merry and Pippin and Gimli's rerolls and Legolas's bonuses and stuff like that. So I think the people who have taken it are going to have some fun. I think their opponents are going to have some fun, and will do better than just your stock standard 600-point fellowship list, of course, because it's got those buffs.
I will say, we'll see like obviously a fair few of these, but they fit like a glove. You get all the upgrades, you get everything in this, and all the Legion bonuses, dead on 600. So it's it'll be efficient for points.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, that blast, that 4 to 5 minute spirit magical power is crazy.
Oh, it's lovely. I feel sorry for everyone who doesn't know what the Legion is straight off the bat, because I certainly don't. Alright, sweet. We've got Mr. Simon Penman with Far Harad, one of my favourite lists I've seen so far. So we've got basically just a brick wall of half trolls. So it's like a monster list that's pretty much just not a monster list. Lots of Strength 5, lots of Fight 5, but also lots of Auto Pass Courage, which is nice. So
the funniest, as a brief aside, the funniest part of this list is that all of the heroes are lower fight than all of the warriors.
Excellent.
they are too.
I think I
probably
would have dropped a half troll to get all the heroes a camel, unless they're 10 points, in which case, I'd probably drop 2, but that's just me. I think this list is hilarious, and I think just give Simon the first prize. I want to see it up there.
Oh, this is 100% a contender for most interesting list. It's up there.
Absolutely, lots of marches going on there, and like I said, some camels would be nice. I love camels, but this is certainly hilarious. So.
Bring it on.
Yeah, this just doubles down on the silly, so it's awesome. All right.
So Adam Cattell is bringing the Riders of Theoden. So Theoden, Aemma, Gamling, with mostly Royal Guard and a couple of Riders of Rohan in there.
We're used to seeing this.
What?
I was just saying we're used to seeing this list. It's popped up for the last 6-7 years almost.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard one on the tournament scene. I don't think I've played it for a little while, so it'd be nice to have a game against Adam with this. Just obviously be careful of that death turn.
It was obviously played less once it was nerfed, but it's good to still see that it's kicking about even with the nerf.
Yeah, that's right. We'll jump to the next one. We know Rohan like the back of our hand.
Yeah. Mr. Josh Coleman, Rangers of Mirkwood. Very interesting. Coleman playing his, Josh playing his common elves with Legolas and Toriel here. Very heavy shooting, lots of elven cloaks. Very, very solid in a foresty board or a board with lots of high terrain as well. I know someone's playing in first round, and it'll be very interesting to see how those Rangers do, and if you can get some interesting plays off with the Sentinels as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would look at those Sentinels and go, 5 Sentinels is too many Sentinels, but I think, given the fact that you've got such a patient player and so many bows, you can afford to play around with those Sentinels and really wait for the right time to strike.
The correct way to play this list is to take all Sentinels and then always shield unless it's the opportune advantage, so you always have 4 attacks in combat. Can't change my mind.
Stunning. Because yes, all of the things get knife fighting, isn't it?
They don't. The Sentinels don't get the knife fighting, but everything is able to shield. With the exception they can't use knife fighters and shield. Anyway, we'll jump on. Noah Kennedy is taking Mordor and Serpent Horde, the hot craze at the moment. Pretty much. Actually, no. This is a little bit different. There's no Witch King. He's got Sylvain, Shagrat, and the Mouth of Sauron. So a slightly different variation of what we're currently seeing on the internet.
I appreciate the change. Like, literally, at the moment I said, I don't see the Mouth of Sauron run enough. There he is, right there. I
was going to say, absolutely.
Shagrat is just a beast with that shield, and I like the fact that he's stepping away from the must-be Suladan and Witch King. So I'm excited to see what Noah brings to the list.
Sweet.
Oh. Mr. Go on.
Michael Kerr with Theodred's Guard. So Theodred, Elfhelm, and a captain. Instead of, I believe it's Grimbold is the other hero that can be taken with this one. Look, this Legion has popped up a few times across these lists, and I really hadn't seen it up until recently. I think that people might just go, "Oh, it's pretty standard Rohan," but this thing is nasty, and it's disassembled me once or twice in some Articon practice.
I've yet to win against it in a practice game. I'll let that. That's just my piece.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. I think the scariest thing is underestimating the fact that it's a lot of it's on foot. Obviously, expecting lots of riders of Rohan being on horses, they are just as deadly on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Mark McClary, or Rocky? This is Rocky, right?
Yeah, he's
Yep.
Rocky. The throwing weapons
Yeah,
man.
sweet. Absolutely. But Easterlings here, just becoming more popular now as well with the nerf, the No Dragon Emperor. Easterlings here, so using Ratabi, Borgir, and then bringing Amdur and some Cataphracts as well with a War Drum. So yeah, still using those new models to buff the Easterlings. Obviously Ratabi and Borgir are fantastic models, but doing away with the Emperor and his lots of points to bring in Amdur and get a few more models on the board as well. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see how it goes with the more models and without the Emperor. I don't know if we have an Emperor, do you know, Andre?
We have
I believe
one.
later.
We have one coming up later.
One.
Spoiler
Okay, it'd be
alert.
interesting to see. I'd love to see how they go versus, the Dragon Emperor versus the non-Dragon Emperor.
I don't mind the change simply because it means Ratabi and Amdur together with upgrades is not too many difference in points between the Emperor and them, so it makes it a choice for these two as well. Alright, we got Riley Ward running Angmar. This is a fast list. It's got the Witch King, it's got Warg Riders, it's got Gullivar, and more Warg Riders, and more Wargs. It's just Wargs. Wargs everywhere. A couple of Spectres, but basically just quite a fast skirmish list that has a lot of throw-in spears. So, yeah. What you see is what you get.
Andrew Coleman run this a very similar design list very successfully at both, I think, 600 and 650. So it's tried and tested. And I think Riley will, give people a good contest with this list.
Yeah, Riley's a good player. He'll make people work for it, that's for sure.
Mhm.
That's alright, I'll match him up with Mr. Coleman first round.
Nilesh Rohit is bringing Lothlorien and Rohan. Haldir is the leader with Theodred and Daewine. A smattering of Royal Guards and Galadrim warriors in there. I think this one's really interesting. I saw Lothlorien and Rohan and went, oh, this is obviously some kind of like Helm's Deep themey list. And then I read it and was like, wow, that's really interesting. So I'm looking forward to. I wonder if there's been some interesting design work done in terms of the paint scheme and any particular display board. But it's going to be a decent list on the table. I don't know that it will be peak efficiency. But I think that I'm hoping that there's something nice looking to go along with it.
Yeah, I just see this as a what if Theodred survived but everything else remained the same kind of scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. Other Blackgate opens here. We've already talked about this. This
Yeah.
one does have a Troll Chieftain, 2 Troll Chieftains.
Double Chieftain.
You mean
this
the
time?
Beefy Chiefy?
Beefy
The BPGP
Chieftain.
and an extra one. Interesting way to display it. The Chieftain has to be the leader, but again, we're seeing Orc Warriors there, a cheeky banner in there as well. So yeah, we've already talked about it. It's a very interesting list.
Sweet. Alright, we've got James Linton who's running the Rangers of Athelion. This had like a really short burst of popularity a couple of years ago when the book came out for the Legendary Legion, but then I believe the changes to the army composition made it a little bit less popular. But it's got everything. It's got Faramir, Frodo, Sam, and Gollum, Madril, and Anborn. So very much fixated on those Ranger heroes and the Hobbits. But it's actually got a decent mix of Warriors, Minas Tirith, and the Rangers. It looks like the front line is primarily the Tin Cans, and the Rangers are playing the support role.
Yeah, which obviously wasn't seen quite as much when that list first came out before the nerfs. We were looking at the fact that everyone and their dog was going, I can fit as many Rangers in this so they don't count towards my
Pretty well.
my bow limit. And so it was very interesting to have a look at this one, seeing the warriors there to give them that frontline support so they can actually do something other than just shoot you until you get there.
Yeah. Solid. I'm keen to see how it goes. Nice mix of soft and hard. I'm going to regret saying that.
Russell Barron bringing the Dead of Dunharrow. It's pure dead. So king,
The way it's meant to be.
two riders, a banner, a herald, and like 22 warriors. So everything's got a shield because that's the way you need to run it for that juicy defense. And look, people might go, oh yeah, there's not too many models. 22 dead models at
That's
defense
solid.
8 is hard to kill, and most things are going to be fairly low courage. So
This is just
I
a
think this
scary
one-
brick wall.
exactly, you got to throw yourself at it and hope sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only worry here is just the low might. Obviously, you've got 1 might on the King of the Dead, and then 3 from the Herald of the Dead. But that does mean that only 1 hero can call heroics. Would be my only worry.
Mhm.
And obviously, you're missing the bonuses from the Return of the King. But I'd like to see well. I'd like to see it do well. I'd like to see the Dead be able to fight on their own ground. I'm just not sure how well it'll do, but we'll see.
Always like some ghosts.
Very spooky. Kenneth Cummings here, coming in with Easterlings yet again. As we talked about last time, this one is again using Rutabi and Amdur as that combo there. A lot more dudes on the ground this time, so some more warriors, Dragon Cult Acolytes,
And on horse.
and on horse. And no Brogir, so it's just Amdur and Rutabi together. And we have got some Runish War Drakes, which are the best Easterling models to exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, low heroes. Go on, Lane.
I like seeing the trade. I don't know that's a trade that I have the stones to make, but bringing the War Drakes and a couple of those Acolytes for a bit of extra punch, I think will give him a bit more flexibility. And the overall model count still hitting 30 is still nice for 600.
I do like seeing 8 cataphracts in one warband. It gets me a bit sweet. Alright, we have Daniel Lent for Lothlorien and Fellowship. So we've got Galadriel and Gildor and Legolas on horse. Decent mix of Wood Elf warriors and, geez, a lot of equipment there across different types. And a couple of Noldoran exiles with also a mix of equipment. This kind of just seems like probably like the pinnacle sort of skirmish force to me.
Yeah, having the 9 exiles, Lego on horse, still hitting, I think it's about 28 models in the end.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that Daniel can do with that list, obviously having the spellcasting Galadriel and being able to just bubble up if he wants, and then just having Legolas do some damage with his 2+ or 3 shots. So.
Amazing shooting in this army.
Steve Cassine, bringing Rise of the Necromancer, and here's a fun list because I, of course, would like to run that with some of the Hobbit Nazgul, but no, Keeper of the Dungeons, a very fun model, and then just a bunch of Castellans with Morgul Blade. Let's hope that you have a horde army against this and not one big dude, because otherwise you're in big trouble.
Yeah, the 14 will fade on each of those Castellans means they are very, very, very hard to kill.
Yeah, and they just need to win one combat with that Morgul Blade to kill your big troll.
But it's a solid chance it'll happen too.
Yeah, I don't want to play that list. Keeper of the Dungeons as well. I always say undervalued hero. He is sick as.
Yeah, people
With
just see
his
the
bonuses.
0 fate and they go, "Ooh, I can't do that."
Yeah,
It's okay. Just take a Morgul Blade. You'll be fine.
or 6.
Are there actually 6 there? Oh damn! All right.
There are 6. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Keegan Bowen with Angmar. Again, we're seeing that Witch King come out. It's a very popular hero. This one is quite a stacked Witch King as well. So it is 3, 15, 3 with a Fell Beast and the Crown. Then he's also got an Orc Captain and 2 Barrow Whites with 2 Spectres as well. So lots of heavy lifting with the Witch King on this one. Most of the points are in there. Obviously, he's a bit of a beast of a hero. With a Fell Beast in those stats, he can really cause some problems. Just hope he doesn't get too bogged down. But we have got the Spectres and Barrow Whites to counteract some of the larger horde lists as well that he's facing.
Yeah, I think it's Keegan's got plenty of practice with the Witch King. I think it's nice going the Angmar route rather than going down the Mordor route, just for a bit of a change. Only getting 36 models, but I think the Barrow Whites are a big threat just to lock down and have even that captain come in and finish you off with just a couple of the right number of orcs will do enough work to put a dent in most heroes.
Vanilla is good. That's all I have to say. This one is my favourite submission. Thanks, Nathan James. I appreciate your break into the
I think we can
fellowship.
take the time to read out the entire list. in
Yes.
its whole.
Sorry, break into the fellowship. Nathan James. Everything in the list available. I'll add in a full stop while we're at it.
Short, sharp, to the point. Have some fun with it, Nathan.
Yeah, he will. He will.
Daniel A. bring Arnor. So we've got Abadoy, Captain, and Malbeth with a bunch of warriors. He's got the double banner in there and one lone Hobbit archer carrying that war horn just to be a bit sad.
Slightly
But-
happier.
Yeah, it's no, not a terrible one. You're just shy of 30 models there. Obviously with that fate save up, so that potential to just bubble with some Arnor is strong for Daniel. He's got a lot of practice with them. Obviously there's no Gua here this time, but we'll see how he does
Okay,
with it.
we'll put it straight up against the Dead Done Harrow first round.
Mr. Jacob Arkeba with Rivendell. Good old Rivendell here. An interesting take on it. This is using Elrond and Rivendell Captain. Not many Rivendell Knights, though, as we usually see with Elrond. We've only got 4 on this list, and the rest is filled with Elf Warriors with various equipments. We have got a banner and quite a few bows, but yes, very interesting to see Elrond with a very much on-foot army this time around.
Yeah, including the captain on foot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
including the captain
yeah.
on foot as well. Elrond and his 4 knights being the only ones that are mounted. So interesting to see how this will go. But yeah,
Less is more. It's a nice little balance mixed with still some good numbers. Alright, we got Nikolov. Return of the King. Legendary Legion. So Ghosty Boys with some iconic heroes. Got Aragorn, King of the Dead, and Legolas. And obviously get the Sword of Anduril for free. And then just a mix of undead warriors with 2 riders. It's just the alternative to the Atlas we saw, really.
Yeah, I would have. I'm not sure how he's obviously divvied them up because of this mission of the list. The concern, one thing I've noted is obviously he's noted the fact that 2 of the warriors of the dead have axes, which is of course relevant because they can't make
yes.
special strikes.
That's right.
So I hope he had, unless he's paid for the weapon swap, in which case that's a power move.
Yeah, I hope
just
he
to
wins
showcase
just off that.
I
Yeah,
have
because
extra points.
It
and I'm gonna
doesn't
buy
say
some
you
weapon
can't
swaps.
swap the weapons. It just says you can't do shit with it.
Yeah, and this is always going to showcase as well the difference between certain lists. There's always the decision between bringing Legolas or Gimli versus a Herald. There's no Herald in this list, meaning there's no resist to magic, and the King only has 1 point of might. But cool to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Michael Duke, The Last Alliance, bringing Gil-galad on horse and a Isildur. It doesn't say horse as part of that list, which I've only just noticed. I didn't notice that when I had my initial scan of this.
I don't think there is a
Um,
horse. It's 135, I think, with the horse.
Yeah, so
yeah, no
that's
horse.
bold, not having a Isildur on a horse.
I dig it.
But even then, you've still got to get through, 2 dozen high elf / warriors of Numenor, and they're basically all Kingsguard unless you're that solitary Rivendell knight.
I respect it, though. He knows he's going to bolt off that horse the second the ring goes on.
Yeah, exactly right. Banner is on the elf as well for the extra defense.
Yeah, perfect.
The correct decision.
Thanks, Jack. I'm glad he's right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cool. James Black here with Assault on Helm's Deep. And this is a pretty stock standard one for the Legion. So we've got the Uruk-hai leader there with shield and some dudes. We've got a captain and a shaman. 2 warbands there with 8 and 6 dudes respectively. And then, of course, the ballista. It's got crew, but no upgrades. So non-upgrade ballistas, obviously less consistent than their upgraded counterparts, but still very dangerous. And that Uruk-hai leader can be pretty nasty as well. So.
Yeah, we've seen less of these thanks to the nerf to the rerolls to the ballista, but it's certainly no slouch of a list. That 333 Uruk-hai leader is still a capable leader.
I respect anyone who now runs this list.
Plus, as we know, as comes with all Isengard things, 4 on 4 needs 4s.
It's true. It's also the most nerf siege engine list. I think it was every single siege weapon in this list is has been changed by FAQ. Love it. All right, but David Langosh, I think. I don't know. I'm going to pretend to pronounce that correctly. Another Blackgate Opens list. We've talked about a fair few of these, but this one's opting for, I think, just big numbers, really. You've got just one chieftain and the Mouth of Sauron on Armored Horse, and then just a spread of orcs. Lots of different war gear options.
Yeah,
for me, it's the Mordor troll that's hiding in that Mouth of Sauron's warband.
Oh yes, I can
not
read.
Troll hero, just the regular one.
Well, there you go. This is a sneaky one to slide in under, but it's got good numbers and a good mix of that defense 6 as well.
Yeah, he has definitely sacrificed having a third hero there for those Morannons and that troll. Maybe that's the better way to play it. I'm not sure. It'd be cool to see. Obviously, with a lot of dudes, you're still going to get that legendary Legion bonus as well, the +1 to wound. So that with the strength 4 Morannon is just pretty scary.
Yeah. I'm really scared of that single orc warrior with the bow.
Yes.
Angela Mayer bringing Defenders of Helm's Deep, taking Theoden, Legolas, and a Captain of Rohan, with some Royal Guard, Warriors of Rohan, and some Galadrim Warriors. I don't care too much about the composition of this list. It's obviously nice with the potential 30-inch shots and the throwing spears waiting for you for when you do get close. But the thing for this list is I have seen the painting of this that Andrew's been working on. And like I literally like the price of attendance at Clash is worth just to see this painting in person.
Yeah, I've seen one model from this project so far, and I agree wholeheartedly.
I've seen the update posts, and Lemaire is just the harpy machine.
Yeah, it's true. I should have just put that in the title at top, but it would have made it 2 lines, and I couldn't be bothered to do 2 lines.
Jason Daly here, coming down with Breaking the Fellowship. We've seen this before, we know what's going on. It's pretty much the same stuff. So
sweet. Good luck, Jason. And we've got Ewan Cummings with Kingdom of Moria. I'm glad I got this one. We've got Barlin, King's Champion with the Heralds, and Ghibli. So no Floyd in this instance, which is usually the go-to. It's nice to see Ghibli for a change, and there's a good mix of Rangers, Warriors, Iron Guard, Kazagard. It's got a bit of everything, so I'm keen to see this one.
Yeah, it's obviously interesting bringing Gimli. I'm not a fan of running dwarves. I don't often get the work out of Gimli that I would expect from those kind of points, but I think it's a solid list, and I do hope that Gimli shows off his natural sprinting skills.
Yeah.
Xavier Lemaire.
Yes.
Running some Helm's Guard. So I think there's a couple of Helms that'll be in attendance to Clash. So Helm and 2 Captains of Rohan on horse. This one has very few horses, only a smattering. Going mostly with that Helm's theme. But who knows? Will this be the meteoric rise so that sets up the Helm Hammerhand show that's coming out at some point in the next
I'm keen.
year or so? We'll see.
quite possibly so. Next we've got Damien Paul coming here with Gondor and Rohan. A very classic literary duo there. We've got Aragorn, King Elisar with the Gondor Avenger Bolt Thrower, and then Grimbold with a number of Haleth there as well, and some Helmingas upgrades for the warriors. So a really cool mix. Elisar is always an interesting model to see on the field. Very, very powerful for his cost. And then that Bolt Thrower is just pretty scary as well.
I like the fluff.
Yeah. The fluff is nice. I do think that the list actually needs to just be amended because the Siege crew is actually 3 for an Avenger Bolt Thrower.
I thought it was 2 for the small engine.
No, they FAQ'd it to be 3.
Ah, cool.
I'm about 80% sure. But with that said, I do generally prefer the Swift Reload to it by itself. I don't know that it probably would have been worth dropping 20 points worth of stuff. You know, you'd probably have to lose Harleth. But obviously, Damien should be having some fun with this themey list.
Damien handed my ass to me in our first game at KingCon, so I hope he loses. Alright, we got Connor Wright Riders of Theoden. We've got... Oh, I love when it just says full kit. We've got Theoden with full kit, Elmar, Dernhelm, Gamleen, everyone's mounted, and everything is a Royal Guard that is not a hero. So that's always nice to see. And we've got a whole bunch of weapon swaps to axes. This is a list that's going to hit hard and fast, and never ever take a courage roll as long as Theoden's around. Pretty well.
Yeah, it's obviously a bit of a shock force, and I'm sure that he will have practiced with it, and it's certainly, you're right, going to hit fast and leave some interesting axe wound corpses.
It would be strength 5 on the charge, wouldn't it, with the axes, hey? Yeah, it would be too. Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Jones of Queen coming up here next with Minas Tirith. As we can probably see, we've got Boromir with the banner, as is classic, with a couple of knights there. We've got Madril and we've got Damrod. There has been some conversations recently around what are the best heroes to take with Boz. And this is obviously Madril and Damrod there with a few extra knights and some rangers as well. So interesting. What are your thoughts on this, Liam?
Yeah, look, I think that obviously one of the big ways that you can get your money's worth out of Boromir's banner is have enough people to go with it. So taking the cheaper hero in Damrod so that you can have a larger numbers is obviously going to be a strong play. I like Madril for the potential 4 scenarios that get the plus ones. But that said, I have been having a lot of talk about Irolas as a surprise change rather than Madril, just for the sheer value that he can bring outside of those +1 scenarios.
Sweet. I would have spent the extra 10 points on Damrod to make an emblem, but that's just me. Alright, we've got John Carlos, Halls of Thrandil, and Survivors of Lake Town. He's running Thranduil and Bard. That's always an interesting mix. It's not one you see at lower points very often. Alfred the Councillor, Sigrid and Tilda, and then you've got a Lake Town Militia Captain. So I can quite quickly see there's a very small Elven contingent, and it's the expense in heroes is buffed up by the number of militia being so cheap. So it's a nice mix. It's good to see it so hero heavy but still maintain numbers. I think it'll look quite nice on the board and play interestingly, but if well played, will do very well.
Yeah, only hitting the 30 total, including all those heroes. But I think that John will be able to be smart with his Lake Town. There's a lot of shields in there, and hopefully Thranduil and Bard can really make their presence felt. Alex Colsante, bringing the Serpent Horde, gone for Suladan, the Betrayer on horse, and then Raza, with a huge smattering of Haradrim, with some Serpent Guard, and a certain White Rider, and just a couple of Watchers of Connor, but with twin blades. Look, Alex has been tinkering with Serpent Horde for quite some time, and I trust the way that he would build this list. I certainly don't want to be having to walk across the table against it, and I'm sure that even in close quarters, Alex has a few plans up his sleeves.
Yeah, it's a pretty nutty list. The Betrayer and the Suladan is a classic combo, and as much as I love Serpent Horde, Alex loves Haradrim just as much. Oh, Tim, Mr. Tim Wright, with the Guardians of Karak, of course, a wonderfully themey title there. He has Radagast on a Great Eagle instead of his Staff of Power, and then 4 Grey Eagles with him. Look, this is going to be scary. Not a lot of models on paper, but it is very scary. He has a fantastic board for this as well.
Jack.
It's a little mounted with some figures, yep.
It's not a lot of models, period. You don't need to say on paper.
Yeah, Tim's obviously got a lot of practice with his Eagles, underestimating his own list. He's, I believe, taken, not this exact list, but a bunch of Eagles up to Clash before, and really, I believe he did very well that year. And so I certainly wouldn't be seeing this as an auto win, even in scenarios that are unfavourable to Tim.
Yeah, he came 4th that year, actually. He did really well, and the reason I know that is because I came 3rd and I rubbed it in his face. So, it was...
I said on
Right.
paper because it's one thing to look at four models, the number 5 on a piece of paper, but then having those 5 eagles on the board, doing their fly for 12 inches, all over the place, getting in your lines, that's where you really realise that it's quite the list.
I thought you were just implying that off paper he would just dismount at the start of the game and have 6 models and really rub it in your face.
Yes.
Look, it's the technical way to beat that. You know, look, maybe Tim will do that, maybe he won't, but either way, I would not want to face this list.
My official statement is I hope Emily wins Clash. I'm not biased, but when she's not around, I hope this list wins. Oh, it's my turn. That's right. Oh, Hayden Cox. This is the first Iron Hills list we've seen. So we've got Dane Ironfoot, the young version on Boar, and we've got an Iron Hills captain on Goat, and we've got a really, really solid mix of Iron Hill Dwarves, crossbows and spears, spear and banner, spears, some Iron Hill Dwarves by themselves with no additional gear, and one additional Goat Rider. This is just the brick wall, grind them down and hope they don't grind you down list. I don't think there's much else to say.
28 models. I've always just look at Dane and go, oh, that's a pain to try and kill. So I think Hayden's definitely set himself up for a bit of a grind match. But as long as he's got the fortitude to stick through it for the 5 games, he'll have some fun.
This man's getting the chess clock. I'm just going to give it to him for first round and see how he does.
Theodore Arnold Moore, bringing Mordor and Serpent Horde. Having seen a bunch of success this style of list, obviously it's got Witch King, Golbag, and Suladan, with a combination of Black Numenorians and Morannons. There's a couple of Serpent Riders and a Haradrim Raider there for a bit of mobility, but it's a really well balanced list. The Witch King is on horse. And I believe that's bumped up to the 315-3.
Yeah, I assume that 5 is 5 additional and not 5 total.
Yep.
Uh,
That's how I read it, because you can't have
Yeah.
less than the starting value.
Yeah, it's a minimum of 10, yeah. And
I mean,
160.
I would respect anyone that pays 160 and takes only 5 will.
Caspar Lelestic, hopefully I got that right. Mr. Mordor and Serpent Horde here. Again, we see the Witch King, Crown, Horse, and Mogul Blade, and 315-3. Seems to be a pretty common way of playing him. We've also got Gorbag with a shield, and Salad Man, the Serpent Lord. So very similar to the previous list we just looked at, with possibly a funnier name.
Yeah, going for
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
if you going for a bit of a larger Mordor contingent just for that single Sully drop, I should say Salad Man, because that is my new favourite term for him. But the consistency with both choosing Gorbag as well.
Just for the context of anyone who bothers to watch this, all 3 listeners and viewers, it took me many hours to compile all these lists together, and I saw enough Saladins that he just started to change in my mind, so you're going to see that a lot. Daniel Stuckey, another Helmsguard list, but this one is quite different. So we've got a Hammerhand with Horse, a single Rider of Rohan with a banner and throwing spears, and then my favourite part, 17 Royal Guard with horses and throwing spears, and then a cheeky little huntsman with a mix of warriors with bows, a rider, and another Royal Guard. Honestly, I just like seeing 17 Royal Guard with horses in one line. That's expensive.
It's certainly confronting. There's a lot more horse than I'd seen in some previous Helms lists. I always love seeing the King's Huntsman on the table. It's interesting that there is that actual foot component of the King's Huntsman, the Royal Guard, and the 3 warriors, but we'll see if they get left behind or if they can contribute to the that Royal Guard on horse can really power through. Jack Ryan bringing Theodred's Guard. So this one is taking Grimbold. So it's Theodred, Grimbold, and Elfhelm. Obviously, Grimbold can't have horse with the controversy of hashtag get Grimbold a horse. But there's a bunch of Helmingers in the list. And
Good number of Outriders.
Yeah, I was going to say more Outriders than we've seen in any of the other builds.
Will Price with the Riders of Aemir, again more Rohan as they come through. Aemir with Horse Shield and Throwing Spears. We've got Erkenbrand and Gandalf the White with Shadowfax and about 8 Riders of Rohan coming here, 2 of them being the Red Shields.
Yeah, the
Pretty
wet
scary.
ones.
Low model count. Sorry, Wet Fold Red Shields, yeah. Low model count, but Aim are scary, Urkenbrand scary, and Gandalf the White is scary, so...
This is my favourite
yeah.
Rohan Legendary Legion, so I'm glad to see it at Clash this year. Reese McDonald, we have another Return of the King Legion, and once again they've gone for the optimal King of the Dead, Aragorn and Legolas route. Poor Gimli, he always stays at home. I mean, we've pretty much seen a list just like this, so yeah, hope it does well. I love Ghosts. Ooh, spooky. Ah, kill me, please.
Pat Mitigara, bringing the Beornings. So this is actually, I believe there's 3-ish people bringing Beornings. And so the composition is basically the same because Beorn and Grim Beorn both cost 200, and each of the Beornings being 20 points, so you're going to get both bears and 10 dudes. It's very interesting. I believe each Beorning army has taken a different composition in terms of the numbers, but I think this one, which I think is actually, I think there's 4 Beornings and this is repeated once, this is the ideal composition, having 1 Honesty Bow in each of the warbands, but going, in order for me to be doing well, I need more than just the bears to be performing, so having your 4 people with your hand and a half axes and their burly going to town at effective strength 6, it might be 7, can't remember how strong they are, is nasty.
They're strength 4, I think, base. So
effective strength 6, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. The Honesty Bow is applicable in any list, and that does not exclude the Beornings. It's nice.
Oh, Mr. Risotto, Sean Risotto, or Risotto himself. Defend the White Shitty. Sorry, City.
Oh, that's a typo, I swear.
Oh, whoopsie daisy. Very interesting list here. We've got Denethor as the leader, we've got Ingold, we've got Sirion, and we've got 2 Avenger Bolt Throwers and a Battlecry Trebuchet. The most siege engines we've seen, and still quite a lot of dudes on the ground as well.
Again, I mentioned it earlier, I would have rather see, even if you're going to take multiple siege weapons, I would rather see 1 of the bolt throwers be there with swift reload than taking 2, particularly if you're already having the trebuchet. I just find that you're probably not going to have the lines that you need, being a good army, to be able to have 2 separate lines going through, and if they're both together they're a bit more easily blocked. It'll also give you 30 extra points worth of dudes to stick around while you can hopefully get a bit more value out of that trebuchet. I don't want to play against this list because it's got 2 bolt throwers and a trebuchet, but the rest of the list is just buying time.
I just realised that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say the only thing I was going to say is the Battlecry Trebuchet actually has a bonus against siege targets, so I don't like that very much.
What's the bonus? Because no one ever takes it.
The bonus is it's Wallbreaker. When a trebuchet rolls to wound against a siege target, the controlling player may roll 2 dice and pick the highest.
Oh damn! Gee, I wonder
so
what
really,
Jack's taking.
Yeah, fucking.
He's taking a siege wall.
I will say, he's just taking terrain. That's it.
Helm's Deep with no one manning it.
I will say, Sean is the only person that resubmitted his list because I quote, "It wasn't annoying as shit enough." So,
I really enjoy playing against Sean with Smaug and Masters. Even though he's obviously terrible backslide. Sean is an amazing player.
He's delightful to play against, despite what the internet says.
Yeah, so despite the list, you'll still probably have fun.
Unlike me, who's just a shit in person as well as online, so that's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, good luck, Sean. Denethor's a great leader. I hope you don't get Contest of Champions. Alright, we have Sam Harbison, Mordor and Servant Horde. Surprise, ooh. We've got Witch King, Mouth of Sauron on a horse, armoured horse, and Saladin on armoured horse. Does Saladin have an armoured horse, or is it just horse? I've gone blank. Oh, it doesn't matter. I am
armoured horse, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sweet. I'm actually quite happy to see another Mouth of Sauron armoured horse. I feel like it's the resurgence that you mentioned, Liam. It's always delightful to see. It is fallen into that very popular trope of the Mordor and Serpent Horde, and it's quite efficient. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, a bunch of back Numenoreans backed up by those Morannon orcs with spear. There is the 1 orc tracker. I think that's the only bow in the list.
I respect it.
But 1 is better than 0.
Yeah, yeah.
Josh Duckett is bringing Helmsguard. So, given that we've talked about several of these lists, this one's just got Helm and a captain, with basically 5 riders and the rest on foot. There's a lot of throwing spears in there on the Royal Guard and the Rohan Warriors. But just probably should remind people about just what a beast Helm is. If you haven't actually looked at him lately, he's hidden down the very bottom of your War in Rohan book. And if I'm remembering correctly, he gets a free point of might every turn. And a free heroic combat or something like that. He's disgusting.
Yes, that's right. Yes, in his Helmsguard, he gets Mighty Hero, and he still gets his free heroic combat. He can never be unarmed, and he can dash you if he's not using any of his weapons into the ground, because fuck you. That's why, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that's correct.
And he also makes the Royal Guard pretty beefy. Just puts them on steroids, really. So this is the warrior list out of the list I've seen so far, which I'm happy to see because they're all really good profiles. Keen to see it.
Nicholas Papadimitriou with the Bjornings. Again, pretty similar to what we've seen before. Baron's an interesting one. I haven't seen that bear before, but hopefully it's probably pretty similar to Bjorn.
What about your son, Grim Baron?
Yeah, lots of Baronings, some Grim Barons. Yeah, look pretty substantive what we've seen. More great bows than we've seen prior for this time, which is interesting. Personally, I think it's the better option with getting some of those guys support in the long range, and just giving them a bit more consistency with the honesty bows. But I mean, what do you guys think?
As I mentioned earlier, I would like to see just the 2 bows, so you get more people with those +1 to wounds. But you know, I've not played the bears and the barons.
I do love a good Baron.
Hopefully, the great bow is beneficial and doesn't actually, you know, shoot him in the foot.
I don't know why. Whenever I hear the word Baron, I just think of the Baron Samedi run.
Oh, Baron.
The Baron Samedi, the best kind. Nicholas is pretty good as a player. He's been coming up consistently high up in the ranks at Clash last few years, so I have no doubt he'll do justice to his list. So good luck to him. Oh, I know who wants to talk about this one.
Oh, I've seen this name quite a lot. Whenever I'm over at Liam's.
Surprise guest, or is it boss and friend? So
no,
yeah,
the joke was Liam Harder is what I've heard a lot. But anyway.
Hey. Yeah. So surprise, surprise. The surprise guest is me.
Everybody gasp!
Oh my god!
In one of the worst kept secrets, but yes, it's my first opportunity to play in Clash.
This is
for Middle Earth, so that's
better.
Getting some practice in for the UK. I'm trying out Irolas over Madril, so I've had to drop a few to keep the numbers in terms of dropping a few horses from my 650 list. But hopefully a bit of a shield wall and trying out some Irolas shenanigans will bode me well. And if it doesn't, it'll be because I have 2151 Knights of Minas Tirith and 901 Knights of Minas Tirith because somebody doesn't know how to use Enter.
Yeah, you know what?
It's a lot of knights. I think he'll do pretty well with those numbers.
Yeah.
Surprised you having 600
Give me a sec.
points.
I'm just gonna. There you go.
Just gonna roll my joke.
Only
You gotta
7
fix up-
hours of list compilation.
Gotta fix up Hurons as well.
Wait, what happened to Huron?
He has 901 Knights as well.
You know what?
Which, frankly,
Yeah.
if I don't win the tournament with about 3,000 Knights of Minas Tirith, I don't deserve to.
I'm pretty sure if you have 901 knights, I don't think the other player can actually deploy their army. So if you go first,
Yeah.
easy.
Next
easy
time I'm
winning.
just giving you my email password and you can compile all the battle scribe lists, Liam Dickhead.
Pass.
Yeah, this list has 2 versions. This list has the It's Amazing version and the Liam Rolls Nothing But 2's version.
Oh,
We'll see
we
which one turns up.
discussed. I can tell you which one's going to turn up. But yeah, we'll see. This is you, Andreas.
This is me? Oh, okay. Aaron Hooper, running Erebor, Reclaimed, and Halls of Thranduil. Love-hate relationship between PCs, racers, who cares? We've got Thorin, King with Orcus and Goat. Love Thorin on Goat, always ends up being a cool conversion. We've got Dwalin on Foot, and then Legless with Horse. And he's leading 2 Merkle Cavalry with shields. So there'll be no banner there from Thranduil, and just a smattering mix of dwarves and some with crossbow and spear as well.
Looking a lot like Owalin there, with the font size.
Yeah, that font does make it Owalin, hey. That's everything we have to say about the list, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, sounds good.
Matty Todd brings Iron Hills, so Dane on Warboar and a captain on Wargoat, with some thick warbands. So there's lots of goats there. There's only 2 goat riders outside the heroes, but lots of crossbows.
Some of the camp.
Crossbows are scary. Yeah. I love the Maddox. The Maddox are always fun, and having a banner in there will cause some problems. That's that beefy 8 defense front wall there.
This one's me, isn't it?
I think it's Jack.
Oh,
it is
Jack.
me, yeah.
I'm disappointed.
We love. Sorry, that was me. I threw it off. I was trying to anyway.
Yeah.
Eric Joyce, Assault on Lothlorien here. We've got Musger with the Leger, Druzog, an Orc Shaman, and a Goblin Captain. This has seen a lot more popularity recently. I know Kelly ran it, and it's a pretty scary list. You know, lots of Orcs going on here, a lot of Goblins. Getting those bonuses from the LL is pretty scary, and Musger is a pretty solid leader as well.
No.
Yeah, Eric's a bunch of fun to play against. It's not how I would build the list, but also if I knew that well, then I would just build it myself and run it and win. So clearly, because I'm sticking to my crutch of Boromir, what do I know?
Silent,
I would,
surprise guest.
Yeah, I would like to see some, additional Marauders because they're one of the best units in the whole game. But bringing the Orc Shaman is really nice to keep that large Orc contingent around. And of course, bring in those Prowlers for what can be effectively +3-ish to wound is ridiculous.
I'm actually growing quite fond of the Assault on Lothlorien list. I think it's it's sort of outshone its disgust period of people not enjoying playing against it, and we're starting to see some interesting lists with it. This one's quite well rounded. I agree. I think I'd love to see some Marauders, but I'd also like to see Emily play with it because I think she'd enjoy ruining someone's day with this. It's not a kink, I swear. I feel like this is Jack, but I also
It's you. He just
It's
ran.
you.
Yeah,
I just read it.
fair enough. Alright, well, Adrian Jenkinson. He's got a lot of dwarves. He's got 2 Iron Hills captains. One of them is on a chariot, and one is on a wargoat. And then you've got basically just a really good spread of dwarves, some with crossbow, and a lot of goat riders. Is this a double banner list? It is not. I should probably read these beforehand, hey?
I believe, according to that list, that his leader is both on a chariot and on a wargoat. But I'm sure that's just some kind of...
You know what? He probably just spent the points. I respect
And he
Yeah.
swapped all his swords to axes, which is interesting.
I believe there's a pretty theme with this list, so I'm not going to spoil it, but have a look at this one on the day.
Adrian doesn't tell me anything, so I'll just trust your word.
Anthony Thomas bringing Defenders of Erebor. So we've got Bard, Prince of Dale as the leader, Thorin the Third, and then Biffa tacked on as a single drop at the end. So there's some of those new Knights of Dale, which is the +1 if they're charged from memory, and then a smattering of Dale Warriors and some Iron Hill Dwarves with some crossbows.
I've just got to say, those Knights of Dale, they look amazing on paper, but I've never seen once someone charge them. Ever.
I have charged them, but I think it wasn't too bad in the end. But I think it's a very interesting deterrent, and they're a fun little piece to play with. So I think Anthony's built a nice little list there.
Oh, Christ. Jose Rojas Delgado with the Last Alliance here.
Please say the name again. Please do.
Jose Rojas Delgado?
It was better the first time. Whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jose Rose. Andreas being racist again. Anyway, let's talk about this. This is pretty cool. We are seeing that Gil-galad and Isildur benefit there again on double sides. Hello, Kylie. We're doing a recording. Yeah, Gil-galad the leader there, and Isildur as the bonus. This time Isildur with the horse. Oh, she's gone.
I mean, she can join in if she wants.
Yeah, go give her a message. Isildur 130 points with the horse, like we talked about before. Obviously, it's going to run away when he puts the ring on, but he does bring a horse this time. Warriors and elf warriors with the banner there, and lots of Kingsguard as well.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Alright.
not too much to say on that one.
No, it's quite solid.
Solid.
It's got a good spread, and the Silver of the Ring is always feisty. We like it. Alright, Huon Thompson, The Last Alliance. Elendil with Horse and Shield, and a Rivendell captain with Horse, Lines, and Shield. So it's a little bit of a, I guess, less is more. And we've got a good spread of a lot of Numenorians, and a fair few Rivendell. So it's just a nice mix.
Yeah, taking the Rivendell instead of Gil-galad, obviously giving the additional Rivendell Knights there. Keeping the banner on the elf again for the extra defense. But it'll be interesting to see whether the extra troops can actually keep up with just the sheer power of Gil-galad.
I will say, four knights with the captain, probably one of the best points efficiency for damage output and also range damage output you can get.
Hugh Cummings bringing Theodred's Guard, so again that's about the third we've seen. Going for the Theodred Elfhelm and Grimbold combo. This one has far more riders, so both Theodred and Elfhelm's contingent are all mounted. It's only Grimbold leading the foot troops there, so more maneuverability with this one, but it does mean the numbers are smaller. They're nothing to sneeze at. I believe it's still about 27, 28, but it's obviously not the potential horde-esque numbers that you can get in that Theodred's Guard LL without them.
I'll take this one.
Okay.
It's just for one reason, Jack. You can have my next one, I promise. This is... No, I'm sorry. I love you.
No,
This-
that's good. Go for it.
Jade Johnson with the Blackgate Opens list. And I quote, Jade submitted this, in his words, because he wasn't going to win Best Painted without the new project he was working on. So, Jade is running the Greatest of the Troll Chieftains with a Mortal Troll with Drum, and the Mouth of Sauron on Armored Horse with another Mortal Troll and another Mortal Troll Chieftain. So, actually, as silly as the list might seem on paper, I actually quite like a list that focuses heavily on monsters, and it'll be a quick game one way or another.
Yeah, very similar to my Sil list, funnily enough. One big thing here, I won't go discussing the weaknesses and strengths of lists, but it certainly has got its strengths and weaknesses, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
He's well practiced with this one, so I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of brutal power attacks across that force.
Yeah, it'll be quite scary to play. If you don't have an answer to those big scary monsters, well, you get what's coming to you.
Hopefully the answer will be the scenario.
Mr. Jade's good companion Joshua Fawcett here with Helm's Guard. We've seen Jade blend this in the past as well. We've seen it previously in this list breakdown. Helm Hammerhand there on horse with some royal guards, a captain on horse with heavy armor, and then another captain on horse with heavy armor and shield as well. So pretty standard stuff there. Helm again being that monstrous hero that we talked about previously, and quite a decent amount of dudes on the ground. Not as many as you'd see in most Rohan lists, but two captains backing that up is pretty scary.
Yeah, it's well rounded.
Mm-hmm.
We
Liam.
messed up the order, Liam. It's you.
Yeah, that's where I'll go. Yeah. Matthew Kapos bringing Minas Tirith, taking Boz with the banner, and Huron the Tall, and then there's a large knight contingent. So there's 5 knights here, and a converted Citadel Guard with longbow on horse. But otherwise, this one's gone for 2 maxed out warbands, rather than choosing one of the potential third heroes that you can bring with this list. Still bringing that as 9 points of might, but obviously it means that you've only got those 2 might spots that you're activating. The numbers are not bad, and I think that Matt will have some fun with this.
No
Absolutely.
much, though, could be a problem.
That is
Oh,
true.
she presents herself.
I
The woman-
I do. Hello.
So
The
we
woman, the myth, the
obviously,
legend.
yeah, we obviously plan our recordings very well, and that's why this will be not edited at all. Welcome, Kylie. What were your thoughts on the list? I'm assuming it's negative because it wouldn't be you if it wasn't criticism.
I mean,
Wow.
it's not too bad. It's just
It's not too bad. Compliments.
playing this list without March can be tricky. But it shouldn't be too bad up front.
Why do you need
You get
March?
to position the army.
The scenarios
You're running
as well.
2 heroes and
Have you
scenarios.
seen Huron's legs? They're super long. Who needs March? Grow up.
He's quite tall.
He's
saw
quite
her.
tall. Yeah,
And
yeah.
with only 6 bows, 8 bows, you're not real 9. How many? 9 bows, but most of them minister as well.
Oh, yes. You're right. It's the Minister of
Hiding
Warriors
bows
bow.
everywhere. Yeah.
Because the bows might get a bit stuck behind that shield wall, not taking bow and spear. I would almost consider, if you're really sneaky about it, even though you don't get the defense bonus from taking the bow and the shield, they still count as shield wall, so they can actually give that front rank that defense 7, while still just being useless and waiting for a spot to move forward into once the combat
Yes.
starts.
Well, I really like this list on the premise that Kylie doesn't agree, so it's gonna win. Easy matchup round 1. I got you, Matt.
We'll see. 2 heroes can be hard to navigate, but 600 points. Maybe you get some good matchups.
Oh, Kylie, why don't you take this one for us? Real quick splurge. Remember, fast.
All right,
We have a lot
Jacob Lucas, the man from the conquest of creations. Okay, let's see what he's brought to the table. He's bring Gothmog with Wagner Shield, 5 Morannons with Shield, 6 Morannons with Shield and Spear, 1 Morannon with the Banner, Shield and Spear. He's got Guritz with 4 Orc Warriors with Orc Bow and Spear. Zagdush, that's the 3 attack Behemoth, with 4 Morannons with Shield, 6 Morannons with Spear and Shield. An Orc Taskmaster with 2 Morannons with Shield and 3 Morannons with Shield and Spear. Overall, don't mind the list. However, there is one weakness I think this list has, and that is no drum. Where's the drum? It's the best
What a
model
Kylie thing to say.
in the entire.
I think you're wrong. Actually,
There's no
I just,
drum.
No,
Why are you
no,
taking
I'm pretty.
pure
I'm pretty
orcs
no,
with
no.
no drum?
No, Kyle, you're wrong. He's got the drum. I got a message from Jacob earlier. He's actually hired someone to just play a drum next to him every time he plays the game. So, yeah, you're wrong.
I don't care if he's hired a Marinucci band to play next to him through the entire tournament. There is no drum in this list. And
Well,
I am big sad by the fact that there is no drum in this list. Or a shaman? No shaman either?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. You're running pure orcs with no shaman, no drum.
I actually thought we'd see more Army of Gothmog, to be honest. I know we've seen a lot of men
600,
lists,
yeah.
and this obviously excels at taking down men. The one thing that I wondered, like, I know the Taskmaster is great because of the potential bonuses, but I just really have a sweet spot for Gothmog's Enforcer. So I probably would have done that swap, but we'll see if that is enough orcs to actually get the job done when Gothmog starts calling those bonuses.
How many
It's
models
just
is
a-
it?
Yes, that's something I should have written. It looks to be about
35.
35? Yeah, damn. I'm gonna guess.
35. Yeah, like, I can understand, like, dropping a couple of guys, like, dropping the drum to get a couple more guys, but, I mean, if you're running pure orcs, you want to lean into the orc keyword, get all the fun stuff that just makes your orcs just fight better. Because, like, the moment you hit a terror wall, you're in trouble. The moment you hit an army that can just absolutely pump out shots, you're in trouble. Like, yeah, I just hope that he doesn't get any shooting heavy armies. That's all I'm gonna say. Otherwise, you're gonna be fiending for that drum and shaman.
I do love the quality of our list critiquing has gone up ever since Kylie came on, and the speed of which we're going through these lists has gone down about 400%. It's beautiful. Thanks, Kylie. Oh no, I scared her away.
No, I'm just blowing my nose. You know, I'm trying to be like.
There's no decorum here.
Just got a lot
Whose
more
turn is it after
professional.
Kylie's? Is it you, Zen?
Oh, I don't know. Whose turn was it before Kylie's? This is a conundrum.
I feel like
We're gonna.
I'm
Let's
sorry
reset.
for derailing this.
No, reset. So the new order is me, Liam, Jack, and then Kylie, and
Perfect.
eventually Emily might say something about a list. I don't
in that case, it's up to you. You start us off.
Okay, cool. Kylie, I'm going to tell you how to. I'm going to show you how to fast go speed something through a list. Yeah, sure. Vorgan Moore, Isengard running Saruman with Horse Screamer, and I want to say this was a typo. I feel like it's Gorulf.
Yeah.
The Dunlending hero, basically the Kratos.
The Iron Skin.
Yeah, that's the one. And it's a
The one that
massive,
gets free stuff. Yeah.
yeah, he's running a massive spread of Uruk-hai warriors with every different kind of equipment, and a couple of scouts with bows, and a Crabane, and 2 berserkers.
Well, don't know. We love Saruman. Love to see him. The only thing I
love
love to
Grima.
see more than Saruman is Grima, because that's the only way you unlock him.
I mean, let's be honest. You're taking Saruman because you want to take Grima.
Agreed. Gorulf is phenomenal just because if you throw in your heroes to get a higher fight, he just goes, cool, I'll get the free defense. And if you just invest troops, then he's no slacker. He's got 3 attacks at strength 5.
Yeah, he's pretty cute.
Yeah.
I like him.
And he's 5/5 as well, I believe.
He
on
is,
top of
yes.
that, too. Like,
He's
he
a
gets
good-
a whole bunch
yeah.
of some fun stuff. Yeah.
He's a good might sink.
Free might, dry, the free.
13.
free
There's Vaughn's also gone with 13 pikes across this list, so there's a lot
Mm.
of potential for getting those extra attacks where he needs them on that front line.
But also a lot of defense 5, so it'd be a nice mix.
I do love the large amount of pikes here, just to because when you play with a large amount of pikes, it just engaging that ball can be just so painful. But yeah, looks alright, looks fine, should be fun to play. Would have liked to have seen alerts instead of a Gorov, but hey, then your model count suffers. So
There
you
it
know
is.
what? As an alternate, don't mind it.
Oh, shot ahead there. Who wants to take the man, the
No,
myth, the legend?
it's me. It's my white whale of finals, but also it's my turn. So Andrew Coleman is joining us in this bringing Army of Dunland. It's a fun list. He's got Thryden on horse, Gorulf we were just talking about, the Wildman Oathmaker, also Frida is in there as well. So there's 2 Crabane, a number of Dunlending, and the Wildman is leading Wild Men. So certainly no slouch, and it's a pretty nice looking Dunland build.
He also is the only person to send in a nice little excerpt about his fluff, which if I had open I'd read out, but I'm very well prepared, so I won't.
I like it. It's pretty good for an Army of Dunland list. The only thing I think you could maybe consider swapping is either Frida out for a captain for the march. I'm always going to be a march salesman, so yeah,
March
just gonna have to deal
saleswoman.
with that. Always going to be selling that march to anyone who wants to listen.
And the extended warranty as well.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that, like, if you don't have it, you're really going to be hating it.
Kylie, the slide has changed.
Sorry.
God damn
Yes,
it.
I understand that.
And since Jack is muted, you can have this one.
Alright, so this is Chelsea. Her list is a play off the Bear and the Maiden Fair. We've got Galadriel with the Mirror, Galadrim with Banner and some Shield and Spears, 3 Galadrim with Shield and Spear, 4 Guard of the Galadrim Court, pesky fight 6 dudes, 4 Galadrim with Bow and Spear, 1 Galadrim Knight, Grimbeorn as is the Spice with 3 Beornings. Which is pretty nice. I think one of the Beornings has a bow. I can't remember. I was speaking to Chelsea about it the other night. But yeah, pretty interesting list. Gonna be a bit sad if it has to fight against anything north of 40 models. But it'd be interesting to see what Chelsea does with Grimbeorn in the mirror, because that's going to be a very hard model to remove from the table. A Grimbeorn that gets 3 fate per turn.
It's just a fun list. I like a good mix of things you don't expect. So, and I also respect someone who would be willing to get rid of the army bonus for Lothlorien.
So you only need to kill 10 things to break it, but also
Good luck.
it's 10 elves or 10 Beornings that you need to outfight or outshoot.
Sorry, I looked over. My biggest problem with this list is that you've buggered up the title there, which is the Bear and the Fair Maiden, which should be the Bear and the Maiden.
I was hoping I'd get away with it, but
The Bear and the Maiden Fair, which is a very good reference.
I'm sorry, Chelsea. I was doing this with only one of my 2 brain cells.
I'd like to point out that I did actually just say the Bear and the Maiden Fair.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping it would slide.
Yep.
I tried to cover you, man. I tried to cover you.
I know. You're also
I
slowing
wasn't
us
going
down. Jack, this is you.
Wonderful. Tyrone Owens, Angmar here. Witch King, very slightly different. We've got a 314-3 as opposed to the 50s that we've seen past earlier today. Got a Spectre in there as well. We have got Burdur, very interesting model there. We usually play with more Trolls, but he is on there on his own with a Spectre. And then we've got a Barrow White and a Spectre as well. So, Spectre for each hero. Burdur is pretty scary. And the Witch King, of course, with Crown and Horse there, pretty scary as well.
I like Wild Riders. That's all I have to say.
And that's all she wrote, yeah, I guess so. But
Yeah, looks good.
Too late, Kylie. We moved on.
30+ models.
Because we ran out of order, it's back to you, Andreas. I'm glad someone's keeping track.
nice.
No, I was just saying if someone else had anything to say. I mean, it's nice to see
I like it.
Burdur.
I mean, it's 600 points. Justifying Gulliver is going to be a little tricky. So why not take budget Gulliver?
Hell yeah. Alright, Callum
Gulliver
Burt.
that can't fly.
Gulliver without wings.
Budget Gulliver!
Give
We have
Burdur
Gulliver at
Red
home.
Bull and you're good to
Gulliver
go.
we have at home.
Oh, thanks, Emily, for chiming in. What a beautiful laugh. Callum Burt, Rivendell and Lothlorien. Glorfindel, the best hero of valor you could ever find. Leading a good mix of Rivendell knights and warriors of all Wargear options. We've got Círdan with 5 High Elf warriors with shields, and Brupel with an Elven cloak and 6 guard of the Galadrim court. Yeah, just a really solid battle line list and probably the best backstory hero from Silmarillion days yonder. So I like it. I always like seeing Glorfindel lead a force.
Yeah, 22 models. It's got the 5 bows across it. Círdan for the bubble and Glorfindel for some oomph. Plus, those killer model, you've either got to get through to Círdan or Rimmel's just there parrying you to just be an annoying jerk. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hope you don't lose those knights too quickly because they need to do work in this list. Or where's the DPS coming from?
Kylie, where's your positivity? Just say it's a pretty list.
I'm just it's I would like to see some more bows. If you're gonna go Círdan, index into some bows.
Is DPS the right term? I feel like
Depends what S stands for.
NPR,
Damage per... I don't know.
DPC, damage
Combat.
per combat.
Damage per combat. There we go. Damage
DPC?
per combat. I'd like to see more
DPC?
damage. Yeah,
Otherwise, DPS is in damage per scenario.
Damage per Forge World dollars. I don't
No
know.
one plays scenarios except us, Liam.
No one can decipher scenarios, actually.
No one's willing to proxy that many models. So we've got Benjamin Cox bringing Assault on Helm's Deep, going with the Uruk-hai leader and Uruk-hai captain, and a ballista pretty maxed out on the warriors. I have seen a disappointing number of, as in a lack of, demo teams across the assault lists.
And Shamans.
Yeah, so we'll see whether it can quite do enough. But it's a bit of a death ball while you wait for your ballista to actually hit something.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen a bomb instead of a ballista, but hey, whatever floats your goat, or in this case, your Uruk-hai. Honestly, this is kind of scary because this is what 40 plus Uruk-hai. Yeah, good luck. That's going to be a lot to have to slug through at 600 points, 40 plus Uruk-hai. Like,
This is
especially
a
if
king
you
of
got those
4+.
captains in the back. Like, how are you going to get rid of them?
Evening, Mike. We're doing a review of some of the. Okay. Oh, there we go. A review of some of the class lists. So
Oh, you know what? The more the merrier. This can only get
Absolutely.
faster, right? Mike, do you
Yeah,
have any
sure.
thoughts on this list? Yeah, good thoughts.
I think that was
awesome.
look. I think that was really insightful from Mike there, and I think he's made some good points.
He thinks nothing of this.
The only thing that I would wonder about this is, could you fit more crossbows in? I can't really do the math off the top of my head, but
How many?
I mean, the answer is yes from a numbers
Yeah,
perspective.
you can.
Probably no from a points valuation, because obviously they're more than
yeah,
they're 2 points for a crossbow.
yeah.
And another no from the
Just
perspective
drop a guy,
of.
get more crossbows. And maybe upgrade another berserker. But in either case, I agree. Needs more crossbow.
Yeah,
I
Needs
mean-
more crossbows has been my thought.
I should just resubmit the list without Ben's permission, right? I can just put a demo team, just replace the ballista.
Could you imagine if you just changed everyone's list? Liam, I know what we're doing for our special.
Here's the list I submitted. What's this on the table? Well, this is what you're allowed.
That's what you're allowed to have. But I'm thinking elves. Nope.
What you do is you just supply everyone with a little container of Play-Doh, and they can change the models they brought to whatever we decide they're bringing.
Wouldn't that be an idea for a tournament though, where you submit a list and then before the game, your opponent can like mess with a certain amount of points in your army and swap for other stuff? Oh.
Patent pending.
Well, yeah, Liam and Jack, they might be onto something, don't worry. All right, moving on. I would love to say, Mike, you can take this list and go from here, but I feel like you're just listening just to get insider knowledge. Kylie, it's your turn actually.
Is it? Well, this is another list after my own heart. Why? Because it has a Witch King with 3 might, 3 extra fate, 5 extra will, Morgul Blade, Armored Horse. Wait, no crown. There is a crown. Woo!
Yeah.
Lucky.
There's also Birdo with
You missed
wings.
Yes,
You
yes.
genuinely missed it. It has a moral blade. It's the ultimate upgrade.
Oh no!
Oh, I did too. There is a Moral Blade in this list. Well, Moral Blade, that can be pretty helpful. But yeah, Gullivar in here as well. Another 11 orcs, some with shield, some with spear and shield. And then the final warband is a Barry White with 4 models in his warband, 2 orcs and 2 Dagmar Spectres. Overall, doesn't look too bad. Would like to see some Honesty Bows.
There it is.
Yeah. I mean, you know it was coming.
Oh, there is no
Hey.
bow actually. No, you're right.
Yeah, there's no Honesty Bows. Would like to see some Honesty Bows.
That's a bit dishonest of Locke.
There's a reason why we include Honesty Bows into the list, okay? Because,
Look,
you know,
Lachlan's
occasionally
occasionally what?
they
Occasionally
hit
kill.
something and they
Yeah.
do something very, very important.
So when I take them, they hit bugger all, but when someone else takes them, they win by leader. That's how it works.
And my Black Gate Opens list, I take 13 Honesty Bows. Mate, you should see the work that they have done.
That's no longer
All the
honest,
way.
Kylie. Moving on. Oh god, of course it's my turn. Jesus. Jaden Kelly taking Mordor. We have a Witch King of Angmar. We also have a Great Beast of Gorgoroth. Is that 2? No, it's 1. It's just the way it's formatted. So we've got a Great Beast of Gorgoroth and Kardush the Firecaller. I think that's the first Great Beast and Kardush we've seen. And
Yes.
then we've got a massive mix of Ranan orcs and some normal orcs, and obviously at least the 9 bows on top of the Great Beast. It's just a really big, solid mix, and I'm just happy that there is a Kardush to sack orcs off the Great Beast, because that always brings me joy.
And he's also included the 5-point trackers in Kardush's warband as extra points of will. Not to shoot, just to sack and get extra points of will.
Yeah,
That's what a
true.
tracker is for.
Yeah, no.
It's extra will points for
I mean,
Kardush.
some would argue it's to shoot things with, but yeah, let's go with sacrifice. Ooh.
Jonathan Burns coming up with the Beornings. Interesting mix here. He's obviously gone for the same composition in terms of the Beorn, Grim Beorn, and the 10 Beornings. Gone for no Beornings with Beorn, just a solo drop. And taking the mixed bag, which is going with the 3 great bows, rather than, again, I think I prefer the 2, Jack prefer the 4, so we'll see if 3 is the right number for JB there.
I like it. It hasn't got a banner.
Because I have to criticize something in every list, would like to see another bow. So, hey.
You'd go the 4.
Hey, don't leave a tool at home just because you don't know how to use it.
Is no one going to say that Bjorn is the most lonely hero I've ever seen? No.
Yeah, I would have split them 5-5, but, you know. Whatever.
How would
way
you know,
go.
Kylie?
Yeah, what would you know? You've never won any events with the Bears.
Nah, but, you know. What else?
I bet.
Now this is an interesting one. It's Jack's turn to tell us what it is, though.
It is, apparently. Just pull this up. Matthew Dodson-Geary with Miss Terith here. So, as Liam said, very interesting here. Boromir with Horse Lance and no banner.
With the stick.
With the stick, not the banner. Also got Ingold and Irolas with a bunch of tin cans.
Yeah, see, I'm going to quote a wise woman, and a wise woman once told me, which I completely agree with, why would you spend 25 points on a banner when you can spend 15 more to get one that's buffs your fight and is twice as big?
Who's that?
I
They
don't
seem
know.
pretty wise.
Look, I think I can see why Matt's gone for the Ingold play, really keeping that shield wall together, and in the hope that Boromir can really get his money's worth. But I just think that if you're not winning those fights because you've got the extra fight, Gondor already struggles to kill when you've just got those basic tin cans and their strength 3, because there's only one knight.
I will say, classy people take Ingold and Irolas, so I don't mind the list.
You would
I
say
will
that.
admit, I do love the Ingold Irolas play, mostly because I like running it myself, but hey, that's beside the point. Love the combo between the two. I can understand why no banner, because, you know, no DPS, not a lot of knights, so get Boromir with a stick. But that said, just the banner is just that good. Drop a dude and then you get the banner. Like, why wouldn't you?
Woohoo. Carly, this be you.
Nick Conroy! Now, I know there was a lot of discussion with Nick about what to take, and essentially this was the, just give
This
me
is
simple
amazing.
stuff, and give me lots of stuff. So that's what we've got. Knight of the White Tower as the leader. I know, controversial. 3 Warriors of Minas Tirith with Shield, 1 Knight of Minas Tirith, 4 Rangers with Spear. Kirion, 4 Warriors of Minas Tirith with Shield, 1 Knight of Minas Tirith with Shield. 5 Rangers with Spear. Ingold with a banner in his warband, 4 shield, and then another 5 shield spear. Irolas in the final warband, 4 shields, 3 rangers with spear, 1 Phantom Court with shield, and 1 regular Phantom Court without the shield because he left it at home.
Controversial is definitely the word I would use. Liam and I have had a number of discussions about the Knight of the White Tower in our many years, and yeah, go on, Liam.
Look, I think you got to get through 41 Minas Tirith, which is tough to do in 2 hours while you've only got 600 points of your own.
He's got a
But
chess clock.
the Knight of the Minas Tirith Knight of the White Tower as your leader. I have never ever in all of my time playing Middle Earth not seen the Knight of White Tower walk up to a random mook. The mook rolls a 6, and the knight goes, "Oh, I didn't roll a 6." Well, and then they just slowly get held off for the rest of the game. I can't wait to be proved wrong when Nick slaughters me using the Knight of the White Tower, but I just have never seen it be effective.
That's a big shame because my knight always seems to go off. The last time I played it, he killed like 2 spiders and 1 tapped, and 1 tapped an entire bat swarm by himself. Good times. But
I would have
one thing I
liked to
will
see
say for this
2
list:
banners.
40 models.
41, yeah.
I would have loved to have seen 2 banners if you're going to take the knight, to be honest.
Yeah, but then you lose models. I can understand why 1 banner, but yeah, 2 would probably be better.
Alright.
Man, there's a lot of dudes.
We got Jonathan Norrie. This is the... one of the... Actually, not one of the first. Never mind. The first evil, normal Hobbit army we've seen. Azog's Legion and Hunters. We've got Azog as leader with his white warg, and we've got Thimble the Hunter allied in. No, he's got a fell warg as well. I had to read down a bit more. And then there's a mix of Gunboat Orc Warriors, good split of Spear and Shield. And is there a banner there? There is 2. And we've got some Warbats, which is nice to see. Warbats are quite fun.
In fact,
Yeah, having played them recently at CanCon, I can tell you they are either amazing or hot garbage, but either way they are fun. This is just, this is a fun list. It hits hard, it flies around, it does shenanigans. It's just going to be enjoyable to play with and against, so I respect it.
How do we feel about the use of the Stone Flail?
I like it. Good tech.
Ooh, yes.
I often
Well,
I don't see people choose that tech.
I've tried it a few times, and it's one of those. Again, it's like the Mogul Blade. When you don't need it, you don't notice it. Like it's whatever. But when you do need it, oh my god, do you need it? Like,
Well, it's the only way you can make use of Burley from Azog, so I respect it.
it's also incredibly satisfying going up to any hero and just one tapping them with a single wound.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the funnest things I have done with the flail so far, was in a duel with Aragorn, just winning the strike off, fluffing all but two wound rolls, got 2 wounds through, and then Aragorn just fluffs his fate, and then 1 wound goes through, does 3, and just kills Aragorn in one go. Like,
It'll be fun to
it
see.
can be nasty. It can be nasty. The threat is there, but the most important thing is that the +1 to wound on just basic troops is just super clutch. Like, particularly when you're up against stuff like Easterlings.
Dwarves. Ooh.
In particular, it's really helpful because you've still got the fight 6. You don't really care too much, and you can actually crack through the pike block at that point. So
Yep. Agreed.
it's helpful. Would recommend.
Julo, bringing Numenor and Rivendell, taking Isildur on horse, Gildor and Círdan. Only 3 of the exiles in there. Gildor's warband being much bigger, including a Rivendell knight as well. And there's not too many warriors of Numenor, only the 7, and it's the Numenorians that's finally ended up with the banners rather than passing it on one of the elves.
Respect.
Oh,
This is
sorry,
always
actually,
one
there's
of
more Numenorians. There's just Mr. Basing. There's 4 of them with bow as well on top.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's actually,
That's a
actually
skill
11
issue for me.
the- This is always a classic mistake that I point out: is give your banner to the elves.
Yeah, but
They're
it looks
defensive.
way
I
cooler
made
on the men.
I made the same recommendation to Jude to put the banner on the elves. Look, this is a list that we've been cooking down in the Victorian community for a while.
Lame.
I personally think it works better at 650, but we'll see how it goes at 600.
That is why I made it 600. You're welcome.
Yeah, at 650, when you get the extra 5 models, it peaks really freaking hard. You can get to 36 models with this list.
I don't want anyone happy at Clash,
But-
so...
It's 600, so you're gonna have to deal with the nice round 30 instead. So should be good. Has a lot of tricks. Got the ring. Got a transfix. Got blinding light, so you can hide behind that when you're shooting. So yeah, time will tell how well Jude can pilot it.
Good luck. Alright.
Absolutely. It's going, Andreas.
No. So, you're all yours.
It's yours.
No, Liam, just
Sure,
what do you
sure.
mean?
Is it mine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Andrew Brad, I wasn't sure. I was like, with the Carly was talking a lot, so I wasn't sure if you just finished up. Anyway,
Honestly, what's new?
Andrew Bradfield there with Minas Tirith. We've got Boromir with Shield Horse Banner, loving the banner return, which is great. We've also got Denethor as the secondary. Does that not mean that Denethor has to be the leader?
He does.
He does.
Interesting.
he also-
so Denethor leader,
yeah.
Boromir with banner, and then the Battlecry Trebuchet there. Very interesting list.
This is happy
Yeah.
Denethor list.
You'll notice, and I say you as in the people who are hopefully reading this, because we haven't been reading most of these lists. There are 12 Guard of the Fountain Court in there. So
Oof.
there's going to be, and there's
That's
they
hot.
don't. There's it just means that there's going to be a lot of D7, regardless of Shield Wall, and they're going to be Fight 5 when Boromir's around. So he's gone for the more elite build, backed up by the Trebuchet. So if that Trebuchet can knock out even just a couple of things, Andrew should be in a decent position.
Yeah. Agreed. And this is the one time you'll get to see Denethor get very upset immediately when Boromir dies.
Mhm.
I don't think I've actually seen that happen in real time. But he auto-fails the first card roll, doesn't he?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see. Protect that Boromir. It would be Carly's turn, but she's ducked out, it seems, so I'll jump on this one. So we've got Stephen Slater running Mordor. We've got Witch King, we've got a Dark Marshal, and Kardush the Firecaller, so very, very Wraithy and support Wraithy. We've actually got a really good mix of Black Numenorians in this one. So Witch King is 3, 14, 2 with Crown, Horse, 5 Black Numenorians, and 1 with a banner, and then a mix of Morannon Orcs with Shield Spear and some trackers. And the Dark Marshals on horse leading some Morgul Knights, which is actually quite refreshing to see. It's our Fight 6 Wraith native. He's actually very overlooked, but always quite efficient. And then Kardush the Firecaller with a couple more Numenorians, couple more Morannons, and 4 solid trackers. Definitely not to sacrifice. There's actually a lot of trackers in this list. I like it.
Yeah, I like seeing the Dark Marshal in there as the replacement banner, because obviously you can spend that point of will to be a banner for 6 inches for just warriors.
Double banner list. Woo!
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes rather than taking the sword option. But I respect trying something different. But I always like seeing Kardush as well for the little cannon.
Yeah, the only word I would say is just around the appeal of pulling the Morgul Knights as part of that warband. Obviously, for the benefit of that banner, you really want to see him more in the center of the pitch battle, just so that everyone can get those benefits. But we'll see how it's played.
Well, the other thing is the Dark Marshal giving the Morgul Knights, who I believe they have Terror, so they're getting the neg-1, so that's much harder to countercharge.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden Cocker, bringing bears and bears. So we got Bjorn with 3 Bjornings with Great Bow, and Grim Bjorn leading 7 Bjornings. I think it's an interesting split going the 3 and 7 and going the 3 with bows all together. But we'll see how it plays off in the scenario.
Sweet.
God forbid whoever this guy play this goddamn list.
Scum.
Does someone else want to take this?
I mean,
It is Jack's turn, but like, sure.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So it's Jack Stockton, bringing the War Leader, unsurprisingly. It's the War Leader with 6 Haradrim Warriors.
Say how it's written.
6 bows, 2 blows, 2 Mahud Raiders, and a Haradrim King with bow and 2 Serpent Riders. It's probably one of the larger model count armies I've seen Jack bring, but obviously it's very nasty.
Yeah, it's been a list that's been cooking for a very long time. Obviously, I've been playing this model for years and years, trying to work it out what the best play is. This is scarily close to my Articon list, which I think is probably the best iteration I've ever made, with the help of Kylie and Liam. It's scarier than it looks, which the War Leader is a terrifying big beast, and the Haradrim King with a bow provides a bit of extra courage on the ground, which should be interesting to see.
For legal purposes, I would like to specify that the 2 blows are blowpipe Mahud Warriors. And they get the poison in this army, don't they?
Poison is default for all blowpipes. From
It is,
Harad,
okay, gotcha.
Harad, yeah.
Well, there you go. So it's quite a shooty army, and I mean, if anyone's going to run it well, it's going to be Jack, right? Alright. We've got PJ Bears. So we've got another of the Bears Legendary Legion, and I think this is actually the format you said you liked best, Liam. The 1 bow each warband.
And I
split. Even,
I trust PJ to run it too. So
Yeah.
PJ do me proud. Show them that 1 bow in each is the correct way to run it.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're just warriors, and there will be no Bjornings in this list.
All right. Josh, Trebelko Harkness with the Depths of Moria. Now this is a bold
Moria
choice.
list.
I believe that's the LL.
Yes, the
So
legendary
Balrog in there. No other named heroes, so it's just the 2 basic captains. You don't need the shamans because you've got the auto pass courage near the Balrog. There's a troll in there. Going with the spear option.
Interesting.
There's not a lot of troops on the ground. There is no drum because you've got a Balrog and a troll is a lot of points, but there's a lot of potential for work to be done. We'll see. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I know you can't be broken without damaging the Balrog, but I just think that there's not enough troops to actually get the job done today.
Also, no drum.
Especially if you don't take, you'd have to take you'd have to drop the troll to take the drum in this list.
Yeah, and also, I mean, to be fair, there are not enough models to really benefit from the drum there, but not enough models is the main problem, I think. So
my experience with the Balrog is if there's a goblin in that fight, you roll a 6. If there's not a goblin in the fight, you don't roll above a 4.
I mean,
So
Fours,
you
fours on
fight
fours
10.
make fours.
for me, the real shame of this list is not in the way it's written at all. It's that the troll with the spear is on a 40 mil base and not 60 mil, and therefore cannot support the Balrog with the spear.
Yes.
That is the real crime. I mean, look, I respect Josh. He's been playing Moria for quite some time. I do like his Balrog. His Balrog's got, I think it's got really cool like smoke effects coming off it, so I always love to see that. And you know what? Not enough people take the troll by itself, so I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Geordie Moss, our lovely Queenslander there with his excellent...
Queenslander?
Victorian, but thanks, mate.
Jesus! I'm definitely keeping that in the recording.
I said Victorian, sorry, didn't I?
You said Queenslander.
I'm sure you can claim that.
Why would you insult someone like that?
I've been drinking for like 2 hours.
Oh, only.
Pass, cut. Geordie Moss, look, fantastic player from Victoria.
Great beard. Amazing beard.
No one will see that difference there. I'm going to throw in Iron Hills here. Thror, Thrain, Train, and Iron Hills Captain on Goat. We've got some pretty solid dudes on the ground here. We've got 6 King Hammers and 8 Spearmen, 2 Swords for Thrain, and 8 Spearmen, and then a Goat Rider with the Iron Hills Captain. So lower models, but pretty punchy ones that we can see there.
And he's an amazing painter. And honestly, whenever Geordie whips out a list of this sort of character, it's usually accompanied by an amazing paint job. So I'm very keen to see it in person. On paper, I just think it's going to be tough to win with, but well earned and enjoyable if you do win with it. Tyler de Leon, Sultan Lothlorien. So I'm actually really disappointed in Tyler because before he submitted this list, he had submitted a very he had toyed around with a really lovely, fun Radagast and Galadriel and Hobbits list. So the fact that he's copying out and going for a good list is really shit, to be honest. He is running Musgur, Orc Captain with Warg, a Druzhag the Beastcaller, and a Moria Goblin Shaman. There is a really large mix of Orc Warriors, Trackers, Warg Riders, and Wild Wargs, as well as Goblins with different war gear options. Only, is it what? Okay, 6 Prowlers. We've got 6 Prowlers and 2 Bat Swarms and a handful of Spiders. It's just well rounded, but I can already see the complaint from Liam. Where are the Marauders? Where's the source?
To be honest, it's not even just the Marauder issue that I have with this, because there's a bit more of a numbers build here, much like Eric's gone for. The problem is everyone knows one of the most dangerous combos that you can build is Druzhag with that wild chieftain that's been enraged, and it's not there.
Yeah.
So I think that there's the grinding potential. Of course, yeah, there's 3 giant spiders, but frankly, I think spiders are overrated. I would have rather see the wild chieftain in there. But
You're gonna cop that, Emily?
Tyler knows what he's doing, and I'm sure he will actually use those spiders to much better effect than I will. Yeah, we'll see how he goes without those valuable marauders.
I will say 2 Bat Swarms is quite juicy. All right.
Jared Cattell playing Host of the Dragon Emperor. So we're finally seeing our Dragon Emperor. It only took 82 lists for us to finally see one. So Dragon Emperor and Rutabi only going with the 2 heroes to keep it to the 600 and probably up that model count. So we're actually seeing 29, so 31 total models, which is still quite big, and we'll see if there's enough punishing power without Barogear in there for the buffs.
I'm just happy someone's taken a Dragon Emperor now, these 200 points.
Mr. Lachlan Ilevsky. Ilevsky. Bringing Moria. We've got a no-Rog Moria here, which is good. So we've got Groblog with a Bat Swarm, a Moria Goblin Captain, and the one and only, the Cave Drake. Love to see it. Love to see a Cave Drake in the wild. Hopefully it'll do well, and there's a lot more goblins than we've seen in those previous lists, so enough horde to cause some problems. And there's a sneaky cave troll in there as well. I'm really loving this list all around, to be honest.
The fact that you said...
Finally
sorry,
a
you go ahead.
Marauder.
Oh! Oh, thank you. There it is. Everybody clap. Emily said something. Thank you.
She's got the hot take though. There is finally more around this. I worry about the scenarios here because Droblog is nice, but he's not going to do any real damage in contest if that was something like that came up, for example. But you've got the Drake there to take out big threats. There's a Troll in there. There's 2 Bat Swarms. And the thing that people forget is, especially if Groblog's crown has gone off, if you can get the Bat Swarm into whatever he's fighting, unless they're fight 10, he is equal or higher fight. So the 2 Bat Swarms is a good choice to back up those different threats. And it's still quite a large model count. So despite having those toys, there's still a number of troops that you got to get through to do anything.
I do like this list. I love seeing Groblog as a leader, especially because he has a fake crown. But I will say, ever since Jack said a Cave Drake in the wild, all I've been able to envision is a domesticated Cave Drake. So it's thank you for that image, Jack. I appreciate it. Oh, I think we know who needs to speak about this one. Go ahead.
No, you can't announce your own list. Someone else.
Yes, you can. Liam did. He's the surprise guest. Jack almost didn't. He kind of did, though.
Okay, well, there's Birders, Druzhag, Ashrak, Spider Queen, lots of Venomback spiders, and Mirkwood spiders.
It's a fun build. It's got the most marauders in all the lists. It deserves a prop. It'll be interesting. Again, I think the spiders movement is often underutilized by players, but I know Emily's been really working on some interesting mixed bag lists, and I'm really excited to see what you can do with it on the table, because regardless of outcome, you and your opponent are going to have some fun with this, and that's at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, right?
I agree.
Yeah. The big thing for me for this list, obviously I've seen Emily run through a lot of different variations of Moira, is she's not taking a Balrog or a Dragon, which is new for Emily. So I'm excited to see what she can make out from that, because there's a lot of spiders, a huge amount of spiders, and a Druzhag. So, oh no, there's a Drewhag. There's no Druzhag. And there's also going to be a very cheeky sort of Moria Goblin Banner Herald conversion there. Just because we had, extra 4 or 5 points left over, and why wouldn't you give Birders a spear?
Yeah, fair.
Cool. And my favourite list, the end.
Yeah, so
Do you guys
hopefully
have any,
hopefully we've provided a bit of an overview for those lists for people. If you want to know exactly what's in the list, you'll have to go and have a read, because when we did this for Masters and we did that, it took 4 hours for 6 of each lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we did rather well. It was an hour and a half for this one, just about, or a bit more. I think it was just over.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we look forward to seeing people on the weekend. It's going to be an exciting time because there is that Masters invite only ticket up for grabs for the winner. But for the rest of us who aren't in contention for that, we're going to have a great time rolling some dice and catching up at what is honestly my favorite event of the year.
Yeah, thanks for that, Liam. I appreciate it. For those who are still listening, firstly, I'm sorry. Secondly, I'll let you in on a couple of things that are happening. So, obviously, there's some work going on still with the Great Houses, or the War of the Great Houses, which is the event that is running concurrent to the singles tournament that we all know and love. And there'll be some really cool, quirky little, campaign effects and prizes that'll go into it. So it won't just be something that, you have very little input to and then suddenly see the results at the end. It'll be quite interactive. But it won't take up too much of your time.
Absolutely.
Lots of prizes as well. Sorry, Jack, you go.
I was going to say, Liam and I obviously have our own house, Team Liam's house of House Team Liam's house. It's not a mouthful. Hopefully you can say it well, Andres. We are, of course, putting out a global notice for everyone to attack us. We want to be the most attacked team, and we are happy to do grudge for grudges. If you guys want to fight together, we're happy to fight as well. So please let us know. Let us know either on the page or in the group chats as well what your houses are, who you're fighting, and obviously, hopefully, we'll be happy to fight you as well, just to drum up some excitement for this new cool thing that Andreas is building.
Yeah, I think so, Jack. And just to Jack's credit as well, he has just posted up the details of the Clash social night as well, so get on top of that if you are coming along.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's a nice, lovely outing. We do it every year for both Masters and Clash. We've picked the hillside. We've been doing it the past few tournaments. It's pretty chill. It's better than it used to be 10 years ago. So it's a very nice place. Just come and have some dinner if you want. Even if you're having a chill night and you want to prepare yourself for the next day, absolutely get some food in you and then go to bed. If you're of the mathematically or statistically more likely to win crowd that want to have a few drinks, we will be drinking the night away. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jack. Thanks, Liam. Thanks, Emily. And thanks, Kylie, who is no longer with us. And thank you, Michael Kerr.
Thanks, Mike.
And thanks, Mike, for the plethora of thoughts he had on that single Isengard list. It was quite...
It was very insightful.
It was enlightening, honestly. But yes, I will post this up later tonight. So, do you guys have it... Before we go, actually, do you guys have any, winning picks out of what we just saw?
I don't know. It's there's a lot of lists going on. It's obviously, when we're playing tournaments like we've done previously, where there's 30, 40 players. It's a little easier to understand the positions of people and where things are going. But with 80 odd players, it gets harder and harder to start building out. Who's a dark horse and who's not. There's a lot of people that are very good at the game that are in this tournament. So
I think Saladin's gonna win.
Salad man.
Salad man, I'll be on a winning team, you reckon?
I have no idea. All I know is that statistically speaking, there's a good chance a Saladin takes out first place. Statistically speaking,
I'm only
actually.
sad.
You're only sad?
That,
Jesus.
Yeah, my only fan. #/ no. I was just thinking that there's a lot of men and a lot of warriors in this. It'd be interesting to see some of the monster lists do well against these very heavy warrior-based lists. So we'll see how they go.
Sweet.
Pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you on the weekend.
Thanks, Dave.
Absolutely. See you then, guys.
Bye.